Hi, so today I'm going to show you a really pretty cool thing you can do with the Fiery controller with the imposition software. So just as a reminder, the imposition software is something that comes standard on the C75 and the J75 external controller, and it is optional on the bustled or the integrated controller for the Fiery. So what you're seeing here is basically I am currently on the external controller. However, you notice that it looks like a PC because it actually is running Windows 7. So you could effectively be doing this from your desktop using either a PC or a Mac. So here's Command Workstation, which is basically the kind of central tool for running the Fiery. You can see on the left-hand side, this is all the trays, information of the media that I have loaded. In the center is basically where things are going to start happening, and preview window on the right. So to give you an idea, we're going to a slightly different workflow, which is basically just a PDF workflow. So we're not going to go through print drivers. We're just going to take this PDF here, which happens to be a business card. Let me open this up in Acrobat, excuse me, just to give you a little idea of what this is and the value of what we're going to do. So what you're looking at here is a business card that has been designed by a designer. It's 2 pages, so we have a front and a back. It is a bleed with a 0.125 inch bleed all around. Now the idea here is the designer designed just a single occurrence of this. Now I know most people, what they would do is they'd lay this up on, let's say, for instance, a 12 by 18 sheet. They'd replicate it across the page. They'd put in the cut marks and everything else, and then send that down as a print job to the Fiery. Now, the problem with that kind of print job workflow is what happens if the person operating the Fiery doesn't happen to have that media size available and happens to have another media available. There's no flexibility there. They have to use the media that it was designed on. If the designer designs it like this, what we'd have is we do have completely flexible workflow, because now we just are dealing with a 2-page standard business card. So to show you how this works, I'm just going to take this, drag it, drop it right into the Fiery held queue. So what that's done is it's moved it from my desktop, and it is now sitting in the held queue on the Fiery, ready for me to start processing it. So there's a couple of steps here to set this up, but very simple. First one, if I right-click on it, I'm going to use my imposition software to actually build a template that we can use in production. So I'm going to click on Impose, and you will see we have a very visual template here. I'm just maximizing it so we can get the most out of this. And I'm just going to increase the size of my center piece here. So on the left, these are the pages of the original document. Notice we have front and back of business card. In the center is where we will start to see our sheet assembled. And on the right-hand side are basically all the tools that we can use to assemble this sheet. So I'm going to assemble a really quick one here to show you the simplicity of this, and then I'll show you a few of the workflow tricks in a moment after this. So the first thing we want to do is set our intention up here. Our intention is we want to do a gang up. So I'm setting the gang up setting, but I do want it to be a gang up a repeat setting. So notice here that we are starting to do a repeat. We need to set a sheet size. For this sample, I'll just use 8.5 by 11. It is a duplex, and I would like to make that in a portrait. So you can start to see how your sheet is being built here. Up here, I'm going to toggle the view to make it basically just the icon view so you can see what we're going to do next. Now we can start to assemble our rows and columns. We just keep clicking on them until they start to exceed, and we just drop back off. So we can see here that we're able to get 8 up comfortably. But let's do a few definitions first. Because this had bleed, we want to make sure that we create a double cut. Okay, so double cut means we're going to have to set up a gutter. So let's see, the gutter is going to be a 0.25 inch. I click on my Apply All and click OK, and now I have a gutter. The next thing I want to do is set my bleeds, and the bleeds, as you recall, I said they were 0.125 inch bleeds. I'm going to apply to both, and that basically brought that back in. So you're starting to see here your cut lines well, implied cut lines. So down on the bottom here, I want to actually put some cut marks in. We have a lot of options we can set up here, but I'm just going to set some trim marks for now. And you can see that we've created double trim marks. So I'm going to go back and turn on my sheet content. So now you can take a quick look at this and say, okay, so I've now taken my two-sided business card, and I have, with a few settings here, made a beautiful layout that does letter size sheets. And here's a little quick, cool little thing. Here's something called Reader View. Reader View is a couple of things you can do here. You can basically turn this around. It's pretty cool. Flip it on its back side so you can actually see both sides of your sheet. Again, it just gives you that extra visual cue that you've done things right. So now, should I save this as a template? We could. But I'm going to show you another thing. I've already set up another template here. If you pull in the templates down here, I do happen to have one for 8-up letter business bleed. But all I need to do is click on this, and suddenly I've taken my letter size sheet, jumped that up to 12 by 18. Watch this. And now I have a lot more up. So I've actually can get 20 business cards on this sheet. So now I have two templates that I can easily apply one or the other. When I close out, here's some other things you can do here. When I close this out, what it's going to do is create a new job, which is actually in our DBP format, which is our imposition format. The other thing I could do is if I was printing this on another device that didn't have imposition, I could actually save this as a flattened PDF file. So this could be saved out as a separate PDF file, which you could then easily file print to another device or import it on another device if it doesn't have to have the imposition. So that's another great feature. For now, I'm just going to save this as a regular job. Click on yes, and you can see here I have my new job sitting in here, which is now, as you recall, the 20-up business card. And all I do is set that one up to print. I can click and drag this. Wait a second, excuse me here. I gotta here print and hold this. So what I'm going to do is process that, print it, hold it, and once it's come through here, it'll fall back into my printed queue. And when I click on it, if I don't go over to the printer and see what actually came out, I can get a quick preview of what's printed here, and I can clearly see that's my 12, 18, 20-up business card. So let me show you another trick. Once you've got all those templates set up, you don't actually have to go in and impose each time to do them. So what I'm going to do here is take my original job, which was my plain normal business card. I'm going to open up the job properties by clicking on the properties button here, and here's all my job properties settings. Okay, so a couple of things we can do in here. We can jump right to the layout and say that I want to use my impose templates. And you can see in here I have access to all those templates I created earlier on. And again, you can see both 20-up and 8-up. Let me select my 20-up again. And now, before I hit print, let me just double check our media. And our media size is now changed to 1218 because that is now our new size for this imposed job. And I can go in here and select a nice 12 by 18 media, 300 GSM. It's loaded in my tray 7. Click OK, and I can just go and print and hold. And basically, I've done the same thing, but with a lot less steps because I have simply done all the work up front with the imposition software by creating a template. Now there's many more things I can do to automate that, showing you some of the values of when you do have an external server, and a lot of these features are included. There's also something called Fiery hot folders here that I could set up a hot folder to do the exact same thing, whereby I just drop my business card into the hot folder and it immediately automatically does the imposition, selects the correct media and trays, and prints, and it can even print in the quantities that I've chosen for that hot folder. So I can make a hot folder to do 100 sheets, 20 sheets, whatever I want. Anyway, so that's just a quick overview of some of the things you can do with EFI and Pose. I hope this has been helpful, and stay tuned for some more things that we're going to do for you. Thanks. Bye.